Hey everyone, today is Monday, July the 5th. I'm your host, Moses Rangel, and you're watching The Quickie Show, where we scour the web to bring you a recap of this week's local news in San Antonio. Here is this week's top story. On Tuesday, June the 29th, Mayor Julian Castro guest appeared on The Colbert Report. Stephen Colbert, the host of this Comedy Central show, took time to jab at Mayor Castro about his youth, his hair, and even the way he pronounces his first name, Julian. Mayor Castro joins the ranks of President Obama and Hillary Clinton as guests appearing on the show. If you missed any part of this, you can check it out on colbertnation.com. Earlier this week, the state ordered a mandatory report on the Alamo regarding some areas of concern, one being around the main chandelier of the apex of the building, 26 cedar trellis beams, and Alamo Hall. To learn more about that, you can visit the San Antonio Express News for more on the Alamo repairs. I'm excited to report about a revamping of the municipal auditorium. There was a grant that was given, a $15 million commitment by the Tobin Project. Now that's going to be conducted next summer, but start looking for more activities, more performances for this project. There's going to be over 1,750 seats. There's also going to be a 230-seat studio for local events and performances. How exciting for all the things that are happening here in San Antonio. And in other news, Alamo College System is set to receive a $2.5 million federal grant to train workers here in San Antonio in the health and green industries. 255 displaced and unemployed workers will receive training in these high-growth fields. Student recruitment begins in August. And on the south side of town, Toyota is going to be launching its production this week of its Tacoma truck. Now they've already geared up with 1,000 new employees, and they're set to be launching about 800 trucks per day in their fall production. That's an amazing statistic. Locally, some residents put on a yard sale this past Saturday for a Haitian girl by the name of Bethany Paul, who is 10 years old and is here receiving medical attention after her school collapsed on her in the January earthquake. To learn more about how you can support her, just contact the phone number below or send an email to the contact. And in weather, Hurricane Alex threatened our coastline as well as Bexar County and some surrounding areas. President Obama released some federal assistance in the event of emergency conditions. However, Hurricane Alex was downgraded to a tropical depression, which brought some much-needed rain to the San Antonio area. Speaking of harsh weather, our San Antonio senior citizens are always suffering every summer from heat strokes. Let's help out the Project Cool, which is asking for San Antonio residents to bring by 18-inch box fans to your local fire station. That'll help out our senior citizen community tremendously. And this week's venue that we're highlighting is the Art at the Jalapeno. It happens every first Friday and it recognizes music and the arts in San Antonio. You can follow them at myspace.com/art at the Jalapeno. In sports, ESPN The Magazine has highlighted the San Antonio Spurs at number 7 for best franchises in the country. Congratulations to our guys in silver and black. In more Spurs news, Richard Jefferson opted out of his contract and is hoping to sign an extended contract with the Spurs. That remains to be seen, but hopefully we'll see him in the Spurs jersey again. Thiago Splitter's Spanish League team is set to play the Spurs in a preseason game on October the 16th. Hopefully at that time, Thiago will be wearing a home jersey here in San Antonio. The Silver Stars have re-signed forward Crystal Kelly because there's been a lot of injuries this year, so Kelly will be an immediate impact for the Silver Stars. And in football news, the UTSA Roadrunners have launched their calendar of opponents that they'll be facing, which is going to be Louisiana Tech, Virginia, Kansas State, and a slew of other great competitors. You can log on to goutsa.com to purchase your season tickets and support the Roadrunners football program. Now that concludes the sports, but we're going to take you into a really special segment which is called the Quickie Show Quick Spot. Here we reintroduce San Antonio to you, the San Antonian. Hey guys, you're watching the Quickie Show Quick Spot, and we're downtown highlighting Jerry's Chicago-style hot dogs. Let's go inside. We're here with Jerry Cahew of Jerry, Chicago-style hot dogs. Jerry, first of all, thanks for having us in your restaurant. What I want to know is, why did you select downtown and this spot on Commerce Street?
Well, one day I was walking by and I saw this space that was available for lease, and I brought my wife Maria down to look at it. And as we were standing outside looking inside, we were imagining doing Chicago hot dogs when a pedestrian passes by behind our back and yells out Chicago, Chi-Town. And we just looked at each other and we took it as a sign that this is where we needed to be. And we opened up this hot dog place since August of 2004, and we're going on 6 years.
Hey Jerry, tell me what's the big deal between a regular Chicago-style hot dog and maybe a hot dog that I grew up on when I was a kid?
Well, the Chicago hot dog starts with an all-beef Vienna beef hot dog served on a poppy seed bun with mustard, onions, relish, pickle, sport peppers, and a dash of celery sauce. That to me is the Chicago hot dog. Even though in some parts of Chicago they serve some with just mustard, onions, and relish, but it has to have that neon green relish. Otherwise, you ain't gonna sell it to a Chicagoan.
What type of food other than the hot dogs do you sell here?
We also have, because these are some of the Chicago's favorites, we have the Italian beef, which is the roast beef served on a ganella roll with giardiniera peppers. And we also have the Italian combo, which is the Italian sausage with the roast beef. So it's a double beef sandwich with the giardiniera served on a ganella roll. And we like it typically served hot and juicy, which means dipped, where the bread gets soggy and spicy. And then we also had to bring in the Maxwell Street Polish, because that's one of our other Chicago favorites. And for the locals, we brought in the chili dog. So we have chili dog, Frito pie, and the chili cheese fries. But typically our menu is all authentic Chicago, taste of Chicago, and the gyro. I mean, everything's delicious that comes straight from Chicago. But it starts with Vienna beef.
That's awesome, Jerry. I gotta tell you, my favorite is the Italian beef dip, and that's what I recommend. So can you tell us how can people get in touch with you? How can they order? What's your address?
We're located at 149 East Commerce between St. Mary's and Soledad. Our hours are 11 to 4:30-ish, simply because at around 4:30, we usually get people coming in asking for tacos, and that's enough to get me upset there. I close the door, and it's time for me to go home.
And what's the telephone number?
465-8200, 210-465-8200.
So give him and his wife Maria a call. Place your order on a Chicago-style hot dog. Jerry, thank you very much for letting us into your restaurant.
Thank you, Moses.
That concludes this edition of the Quickie Show. Remember to email us with your comments, questions, or even story submissions to fans@quickieshow.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/Quickie Show, or you can follow me on Twitter at the Moses Rangel, or on Facebook at facebook.com/Moses Rangel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on the Quickie Show. Congratulations to our guys in silver and black. Also in Spurs info, say Roadrunners have. And in other news,